rich man. So it's on for the bag. It's all about the bag right now. Just because a man is sitting in prison, jail, prison, whatever, don't mean that he don't have no reach. Don't mean that he's completely guilty. And it don't mean that the others on the outside are innocent. It don't. It doesn't mean anything. Nothing means anything until proven. It's all just information until proven otherwise. Until we get the understanding. Understanding is so important. And I remember the first time, my earliest memory of being personally involved in solving mysteries. Now, this is a trigger warning, okay? Trigger warning. My earliest memory of solving mysteries was very, very personal. Very personal. I was 11 years old, and someone in our family ended up dead. Someone in our family ended up dead. And I was told it was suicide. But later on in life, in my 40s, I heard that it was murder. And so, regardless to what the truth is, when I heard about it at 11 years old, when I heard that he had killed himself, because that was the impression I was under at 11, and he had killed himself. And he had did it in the basement of the house at that time. And so at that time, I was a child, 11, and I was being babysat at that house anyway. So I was there probably the day before, being babysat. And so when it was all said and done, and I was back at the house to be babysat probably, I went down in the basement. And I remember, closing my eyes and just wanting to feel the energy of the basement. I can't explain. I was just a little girl, but I remember closing my eyes, just wanted to feel the moment. Like, what happened here? Like, why did with this? What? It was the energy, surrounding. What happened? I knew this person, and so I just started looking around the basement. I know this is crazy. I started looking around the basement, and I had heard that, well, I knew, I had information, I knew that it was a gun involved, and he, blew his head off, blew his brains out. He shot himself with a big gun, blew his brains out. And so, all this is all cleaned up after the fact, but I'm down there, and I'm looking. And I'm on the wall, right? The wall, right? I go to the wall, and I see one speck of red on the wall. And I look, and I touch it. I'm just kind of touching it, and it was his blood. Even though everything was cleaned, probably hosed down and scrubbed with brushes and, and all that, all the evidence was washed away. But I still found a speck of blood on the wall. This is me at 11 years old, guys. I found that speck of blood. And there was something about touching that blood that allowed me to stay connected. And there was something about touching that blood that, I don't know, it showed me things. It showed me his heart or something. And he was considered a bad man. He was the family child molester, and I was one of the children. I was one of the children that he molested. And it's possible that his death is surrounded by his crimes. Sometimes when the law is not involved in family matters, sometimes family matters take on these issues themselves. They'll take on these issues themselves. And, that's biblical. It's biblical to do that. Abraham, I mean, when the enemy was messing with Abraham's, his nephew, or one of Abraham in the Bible, one of his peeps was being messed with, and he gathered up at least 300 men, and he went and handled some business. He had to go and kill somebody. So I believe we have the right to, defend our family. Camouflaged. Yeah. A lot of mysteries are camouflaged. They may look one way on the surface, but when you start digging, see how this leaf insect is camouflaged. It's camouflaged so it could dig its way into the ground, possibly. And then we have the bobcat of solitude. Once you get to the truth of the matter, then all souls can rest. All souls. The good ones, the bad ones, all souls. All characters, whether good or bad, are important on the stage of life. Love, oh, love. God is love, and his love always get us to the truth. God will camouflage himself, and he gonna bring peace to the matter. So we can believe whether we are Steve in this situation, Shirley, Ernest. It don't matter what role you play, what position you in on God's stage. It's all about love. It's all about peace. It's all about fairness and, receiving judgment, balancing out the scales of life in everyone's favor. Everyone's favor. No matter how good or bad we are, the truth must be known. It will come to light. Your good and your bad, both will be on display. We can no longer hide. We can no longer hide the truth. It must come out, whether good or bad. So karmic Ernest is saying, look, I know I'm not innocent, okay? But I'm not as guilty as y'all think. And he needs us to go a little deeper, even if we have to disguise ourselves a little bit. He needs us to go a little bit deeper, because he shouldn't have to take all this heat by himself. Anybody that's responsible for anything, whether good or bad, got to be able to eat it. You got to be able to swallow that and digest it. Deal with it. you know? So that's what this is all about. Justice is all about looking into all the possibilities. Don't leave a stone unturned. Even when people are saying, stop, don't do that. You know, you're not smart. You don't know anything. You just don't do it. Stop. I'm just the kind of person that's gonna look, and I'm gonna find that speck of blood on the wall. And it was, I mean, like the wall, you know how a wall is flat? But this piece of blood that I found when I was a little girl at 11, it was like caught in one of the holes in the wall, like one of the, you know, yeah. So from that moment on, I just couldn't believe the hype. I had to know for myself. So I had to spend my whole life just quietly listening for clues. And then here I am in my 40s, giving another piece of the puzzle. I'm like, hold up. This contradicts something else. So, voila, here I am. Or murder. Well, not murder. It's not limited to murder. Just a mystery solver. Just a mystery solver. But it started in my own family. Our murder, suicide, whatever it was, started in my own family. But because I had the kind of family that, wouldn't support me, digging deep, not even now,